Hey guys, Tyler 2K here. Today we're going to take a look at Azucena and her Season 2 changes. When I was trying to find out what character to do next, I was looking through my videos, and then I'm like, wait a second, I never did Azucena, and Azucena is one of the characters I got to Tekken God. I'm like, yeah, I probably should make this video, should have done it sooner than later, since it's what character I actually know fairly well. But yeah, as usual, these are cold watches. There are some things I already know, like Full Crouch Down 4-4 is sort of like go-to option, enter into leap and whatnot. But a lot of the stuff, and especially because I didn't realize her patch notes are like actually really, really long. Yeah, there's going to be some information that I don't know yet either. I haven't played her too much in Season 2. Played against quite a few already. But yeah, again, this is a character I wouldn't say mained, but I played a lot of in Season 1. So let's go ahead and jump into it. If I make a mistake, please let me know time code to set mistake so I can learn from that said mistake again. Okay, Season 2 Azucena received adjustments to expand her offensive options into leap, as well as broadening offensive toolkit in neutral. Season 1 limited ways to enter or maintain offensive pressure from leap, often forcing to use an option like leap down 4-4, which is her hell sweep, which makes sense. Yeah, you often see in Season 1, like her meta was basically, do I go for hell sweep or do I go for down, 1+2 off leap stance, which is her 14 or -14 frame mid option. So of course, stagger on block and then -14 mid option instead, which were basically the only things you could force in certain matchups. I'm not gonna go into like Azucena theory because unfortunately she has a lot of like cracks in her offensive toolkit. But yeah, we'll see if we'll address them if they are addressed by Namco. We'll talk about the theory crafting and whatnot. Okay, address this. Leap has more options, revisions to related moves. So some buffs, some changes. Can't wait to see. Okay, running 3-2 can now transition into leap stance by holding forward. Okay, and then instead of us being +2, which of course was like a really major nerf. The other issue, like a lot of people don't realize, is when you whiff running 3, the 2 doesn't come out. So what happens is, yeah, you basically get stuck in a situation that you're not comfortable with, and your opponent can just whiff punish you because the running 3-2 will only come out if it gets hit or blocked. So you just option select, launch it. But now, instead of just taking this +2, which of course is one of the worst frame datas, she can now transition into leap stance at +5 by holding forward, which is really, 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 really big change. Okay, wall stand 4-1-3 can now transition to leap by holding forward. Okay, interesting. I imagine the reason being like you can transition into special leap, which is enhanced version of wall stand 4-1. The issue though, leap stance, she's vulnerable to mids. So like if you go wall stand 4-1 into leap, they still can launch you, I would presume. We'll test it, but I can't see that not being the case. Okay, new move, leap down 3, has crouching status and mid attack, variance frame advantage. Also provides high rewards on counter hit and near the walls. Yeah, this is one of the few things I do know too. New move, leap down 3, counter launcher on block. Also +2. Okay, can we go back into leap stance if I hold forward? Okay, no, we don't. We're just +2 instead. Although probably can stay in FC. Yes, we can remain in FC where we can then go for an option like full crush down 4-4 afterwards for knockdown. And then kind of similarly, leap 1+2 is like your steel pedal off of stance. You can probably go for a few other things, but that would likely be the highest reward for best Oki after your post knockdown option anyway. But yeah, having the plus frame mid and counter launcher is huge for Azucena for sure. Provides high reward. Yeah, in heat state, leap down significantly enhanced and now provides a favorable situation on block. Okay, so I don't know, I don't remember the frame data because I never would use this move. +4 does seem like a lot. It probably was like +1 or +2. But okay, yeah, obviously the as talked about under her enhanced mode, if they go for a low, you basically get this automatically. But if you want to use meter version of it, you can just do down 3+4 immediately for your mid option. And then furthermore, now it's +4 on block and a natural hit launcher and, well, again, safer than block, your plus frames. So it was also a really good move. The issue, of course, as you see there, It does cost meter to go for the down 3+4, and then furthermore, unlike a different character like Lars or whatnot, we're not getting any meter back for just transitioning into stance. It looks like we do get meter for holding stance, which probably has been the case for a long time. But yeah, again, you can't block out of the stance, so if you think they're going to go for a mid, you can always go for Leap 3+4, sorry, which is like her backlash or wacklash option off of Leap stance. But beyond that, yeah, you have to hold mids, unfortunately. Okay, additionally, during heat, we can now go into FC. So instead of taking the +4 standing, we can be left in FC. Let's see the frame data on it, though. Okay, we're still +4. We don't have an additional frame data for the transition, but same idea. Full crouch down 4/4, or we can always go for an option like wall stand 1 on 13, which would be your counter launcher off this position. And not to mention this high crushes. So if you're even small negative, you can always go for that option as well. So yeah, wall stand 1 is very, very, very strong. Also at +4, they might not be able to sidestep wall stand 1. So let's go ahead and well, I guess I'm kind of getting a little too far ahead, but okay. Oh, it actually looks like the pushback. There might be a lot of pushback here. Maybe you can't go for this option, period. Oops. Okay, no, so yeah, we just are weak to our sidestep left, our right, their left, but okay. Yeah, I've said the range is a little iffy. That's the only kind of issue I have with that. So that means off of this full crouch position, it's probably better to go for like wall stand 2 for the extra range, or mix up with full crouch down for 4. Similar idea, wall stand 2 on 15, full crouch down for 4 on 17. You can't effectively option select it via fuzzy timing. Be realistically impossible. 3 frames or slower, 3 or 4 frames is usually like that fuzzy timing, but 2 frames, not going to happen consistently, for sure. Okay, new move, full crouch, down 4/4, transition to leap automatically, and then even on, sorry, not block, I want to show off counter hit. Let's see our amount of frames entrance. +5, so kind of similar meta to running 3-2, where we enter into leap stance. You're going to have the same situation afterwards, regardless of what happened. So that's one of the nice things with Tekken 8 in general. A lot of frame data is pretty normalized. So like every single time, it's the same situation, whether you go for that or that or that, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's easier for you to effectively apply offense because the situations are more consistent with one another. In Tekken 7, frame data, like stance entrances, were typically all over the place. So sometimes you might be +2, sometimes you might be +4, sometimes you might be +11. You never could feel or tell. And you, as a player, or imagine, put yourself in the shoes of like a new player, right? You'd have to know every single entrance off stance to effectively apply pressure afterwards. A good example is Negan. Like I was talking about, Negan has frame entrances at a bunch of frame breakpoints, and if you don't know what you're doing and your opponent does, they can easily blow you up. So now, like I said, in Tekken 8, a lot more normalization on frame entrances and frame data and stuff like that, which is a good thing per character, of course. Okay, let's see here. In neutral play, adjustments to offensive pressure, down 1. Yeah, plus frame, option, +4. Back facing, 1. Ooh, +2. Wow, that's a big change. Yeah, usually these sort of moves are typically in the ballpark of like -1. So I wouldn't doubt it if this was -1 or -2 originally. Very rarely do you get like advantageous frame data. Like generically, 1 jab is +1, and then generically 2 jab is +0. So having a back turn option, which gives you better frame data, which then sets up better options like back turn 1, 4, and stuff like that, is really huge. That's a really big change. And then down 1, +4 now. I would imagine probably +2 originally, so you would trade advantageous on like wall stand 1 against their 11. But now it's like, okay, if they mash out anything, wall stand 1's going to win. Additionally, opponent behavior on down 3, the fuck? 1 slide 2? Oh, down 4, whoops. Oh, wow, strong aerial tailspin state. I don't know where you'd ever use that, but okay. I guess it's better to have it than not have it. Various adjustments have also been implemented. Okay. So, new stuff, 3-3, her 14 frame Punisher. Now a heat engager. I would imagine this is a launcher because it's high. Oh no, it's a flop state. Okay, so she has that 14 frame generic option that a lot of characters have now. A lot of characters like 14s are now heat engager, but they only cause the flop state afterwards. So like back sway or something like that. Down back 1+2 if you want better Oki sort of thing for your steel pedal position. But yeah, 3-3 is big because we'll get to it. Actually, I won't talk about it yet. So that's because forward 1+2 is no longer heat engager. That is now your just power crush option. Although I'm not a fan of it being 16. I still say Victor back 1+2 and Azucena forward 1+2 should both be 15. Not power crushes, but heat engagers. But yeah, okay. At least it has pretty good range because her 16 is like significantly better than her 15 down forward 2. So she has like the worst worlds of Josie down forward 2 because it's -13. Whoops. But also she doesn't have any of the properties of Josie's, which is the range, the high crushing or jab crushing. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a long range 16 to have access to better punishment. The issue is, like I said, she has a dead zone, so that's why Forums 2 should probably be 15. Just don't make it a power crush. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so as talked about, forward 1+2, no longer heat engager. That is a universal change to the game. That's nothing brand new for Azucena. Again, that's a universal change. 4-3-4. Ah, yeah. So mix up to the 4-3-1 option. The 4-3-1 or 2, I guess. Sorry, I always option select all of these. Is you get the steel pedal afterwards of 4-4-3. But now she has to mix up 4-3-4, which of course has the counter hit like back turn 1-4 property on it. So counter it double overstun plus 52. So you probably even have time to go for, like, let's say back turn down 3 or back turn 3. My bad. Oops. Okay, we're back into lead. My bad. So we go for a lead 4 option then. Yeah, that's cool. I imagine -12 on block. Whoa, okay, -11. I mean, that's nothing to sniff at for sure. Now, is this NC? I would imagine it is. Yeah, that's nice. And we're +8. Can we enter into lead by holding forward? No, we're just clean +8. So then from there we can establish like a down 1, down forward 2. I mean, you could even like re-loop the idea into forward 3 pressure off of leap stance as well. So yeah, that's pretty nice. This being NC and only -11, that's a huge buff of a move for sure. Probably even more so than option like 3-3, as talked about. Okay, running 3-2. Can now transition to leap. I imagine on hit, we can also go into leap. Okay, I entered leap even hit or block. Sorry, I didn't read. So 3 frames recovery change, overall pace interaction. Oh, interesting. So now it actually affect, even though we're better plus frames on the transition, there's now, it's slowed down so that your opponent can better understand that you're entering into stance or going for the running pressure. 3 frames is a big difference when it comes to better analyzing situations and figuring out what's going on. Because keep in mind, again, I talked about this in probably the last 2 breakdown videos we've done. You're hitting the button, you know what you're going to do. Your opponent is always going to be playing on the back foot. So by having an extra 3 frames, it's good for your opponent because they can better effectively calculate what you're going to do, how they can counter pressure you, better reads and stuff like that. So in a game where everything is sped up, it's funny that slowed down. Okay, wall stand for 1-3. So now can transition into leap. That's massive to have the, because it's +5? Okay, +6. So not as massive as anticipated. But now we can enter into leap stance. And leap down 4 is 19. So yeah, we beat power, like 6. And that was what? 19, so 6. So no, we would still beat generic power crush with leap down 4. I'm trying to figure out where the break point is. 14. Okay, so I guess that would make it so that leap 2 can't be power crushed out. There are frames at +9 or +8 to reverse this, so that's technically not a free attempt, like a truly free attempt, but that would option select rage arts, power crushes, stuff like that. Especially because that's a launcher. Leap 2 is a launcher, so that is a big deal. One of the issues I've always had with a character like Azucena is when you're trying to effectively, and this now we're getting into theory, you're trying to effectively apply pressure against the opponent. And as talked about, right, you really just have two options. You have leap down 4/4, and you have leap 1+2. Now the issue, if you notice, is the frame data on those moves. The other problem here is that this move, leap 1+2, despite the fact that like visually she's jumping in the air, she's not actually airborne when she hits you. So if your opponent reverses off of the leap 1+2, like a generic reversal, they will reverse this, even though she's not airborne. She probably should be airborne because it is -14 at the end of the day. But unfortunately, it's not, and I doubt they changed that in a Season 2 either. So having the extra frame data afforded to like a leap 4/1 at +8 now makes it so that you can better effectively read options. So you can probably still reverse an option. Well, maybe not, because this might actually be airborne. No, she's just crouching the whole time. Hard to say. But okay, we have better options with better frame data. So I can't remember what it was. Was it, I think 1/1 is +8? Yeah, +8. But then it's like this is the same situation, right? I was talking about. So leap 1+2 gets beat by rage arts, reversals, and stuff like that. You know, leap down 4/4 loses the rage art, so on and so forth. So this, I guess, is more going back to what we talked about earlier with normalizing the character. Having like +8 is a big deal because like you can better apply offense. But then it's like in certain scenarios where you enter the leap stance. Okay, is it down? I can't remember. Down. Okay, she can cancel. There we go. -6 option. But now, yeah, okay, now we have better normalization. +8 into leap. And then you can fish for your stand 4. Speaking of which, another complaint I've had about Tekken for a long time. Whenever you enter into stance and they rage art, and like for instance, leap 4/1 is a counter launcher, right? If they rage art, it's not a counter launcher. So it's like, oh shit, you're effectively like predicting what they're gonna do. And normally, like as talked about, counter launcher pickup. But without, if they rage art, you can't counter hit them. So it's effectively scarier to use an option like leap 4/1 because it loses the rage art, and then also furthermore, they can just duck it. So they'll read it. You know, even if they opt to read against an option like your hell sweep, leap down 4/4, like okay, the 4/1 is on the table, and it's like shit. I think you're gonna hit the button. I think you're gonna hit the button. I think you're gonna fish for counter hit. So I'm gonna duck you now. Like I said, I wish leap 1+2 was a airborne state. Okay, adjusted pushback collision on the first hit to mitigate instances where the second would whiff. Okay. That, yeah, I don't think I've ever had wall stand 4/1 miss, but I can see maybe on certain axes it would push them a little bit too far and the high would miss. Damage for the third hit has been improved. Okay, so that means your wall combos are naturally stronger. Where you go for the what's the thing I'm looking for? What would be our double hit spin? I can just... So, yeah, not low slump. So there you go. So your low slump would do more damage. So we're doing what? 25, or we're doing 5 extra damage. So rounded down on 70 or 50. Yeah, we're doing like what? Oh, okay. So 23. So again, I have to remind you guys, numbers are rounded down. And even values have more weight because there is no round down. So 23 would be effectively hurt really hard in scaling on a 50% scaling. 28 wouldn't be because you're going to have a round number at the end of it without being worrying about rounding down. So yeah, the new ender on the wall stand 4/1/3 is probably doing extra 2 points of damage at least, which is a lot. I mean, that's an extra, I think most combos do about like 80 or so. So you're doing, an extra like 2% or so more damage, 2.5% technically. Yeah, I mean, what's nothing to sniff at. It's still nice. The closer you get to like knocking out your opponent, the better you are, right? So you're good to go. Okay, opponent's recovery time, blocking the third attack. Okay, so now -13 on block. Not a big deal because like most people should be ducking wall stand 4/1 anyway because it's non-jailing high. But okay, sure, now it's safer if you're able to go full distance. Reduce the distance on block. Oh, shit. Whoops. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, that's definitely I-12, I-13 range. There's no more pushback now. That's nice. Because I guess she kind of does like this wild kick that might have pushed them slightly off axis. So yeah, everyone's 12, including Dragunov, would hit in that spot too. Okay, brand new move. Full crouch down 4-4. So here we're only +5, so that means leap 4 on 15 is naturally less valuable versus the +8. But still, you can still apply your sort of meta here. Leap down 4-4 to beat power crushes. 1+2 if you think they're going to go for crouch or maybe a mashed out input. But still, yeah, not the best frame data, but the knockdown is definitely what gives its juice on counter hit. Major problem though, of course. So knockdown option as talked about, we get the leave 1+2 afterwards. But major disclaimer, and the disclaimer is make sure they don't block it, because yeah, this is effectively a hell sweep. Oh, actually, I thought it caused stagger. Okay, never mind. It's not that bad. I mean, it is -15, so if your opponent reads this, they're still going to launch you for it. But yeah, it doesn't stagger, so I take it back. It's not that big a deal. Because heat of moment stuff, it might be hard for you to effectively get a 15 out unless they're 100% expecting it, right? So, okay. Doesn't stagger. Okay, I like it. I liked it even better than I did before. I didn't know that. Nice. Okay, we got some buffs when it comes to leap stance. So heat burst can now be performed off of stance, which also means... well, actually, no. Okay, I don't think they mentioned it. Yeah, so actually, in case you never played Azucena, she can always heat smash out of stance. So that's not new. So they didn't mention it's new. So shout out to Namco for not copying pasting all the notes. But yeah, she was one of the few characters who can always do this out of stance. Another character who came to mind. Originally, character like Leroy couldn't heat smash out of stance, out of hermit stance. And then yeah, in like a early patch, like maybe a couple months in, they made it so that he could heat smash out of stance. So yeah, Azucena was always lucky, but now she can now heat burst out of stance. So if you want to cash out with safer pressure, let's say you enter into leap stance off of an option like full crouch down 4-4, and you're like, you know what, I don't know what my opponent wants to do, and because unfortunately, as talked about, I'm only +5. Do I really want to risk a leap 4-1 pressure where I trade against jabs and effectively lose? Do I risk it? So on and so forth. And now you can cop out by just going for heat burst. So that's cool. There probably are better combo or other combo lines. I shouldn't say better combo lines. There probably are other combo lines where you can be into leap stance, meter pop them, and then, I don't know, go for a different carry structure instead. Also probably by the wall. Similar idea. Maybe you don't want to go for, let's say, a full root leap 4-1 option. Maybe you'd rather bound them at the wall first and then go for a combo. That way you have no wall hits in your combo structure. Something like that. I can only really give theoreticals because off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. But, or hypotheticals. But, yeah, there probably is something there, but it's nice to have a cop-out off of leap stance, because in case you missed it or I haven't talked about it that enough, during this stance, again, she can't block mids. No blocking mids. She reverses highs, she reverses lows, but there's no blocking mids. You have to cancel stance to effectively block stance. But doing this, you can power crush on frame 7 and cash out early and not have to worry about your opponent mashing out an input and then you just instantly losing. So that is nice. You lose to other power crushes, of course, because you're doing a fast power crush at plus frames, but still. Okay, can outperform up forward 3-4 during leap. Oh, that's kind of cool. Interesting. She can also diagonal cancel up forward 4. That's nice. That's, of course, your orbital option. Similar idea, down 2-3 pickup. Let's see. Leap up forward 3+4. Oh, the wheel kick. Wow, that's actually kind of nice, too. Just the fact that you can diagonal cancel a lot of these and be in 3 pressure. Let's say you're stuck in lead, as shown. You're at lead at range 3. Approach option +8. And now you're probably a better situation than you were initially. And as talked about, +8. allows you to go for other options to beat mash out and whatnot. So during leap, down 1+2. Okay, there we go. Weird, I had to do like down 1+2, not down 1+2. So yeah. Oh, she goes back into leap stance too? No shit. Okay, that's kind of cool. We're +0, but we are effectively faster because usually wake up attacks like 21 to 22. So from that spot, like leap 1+2 would beat any wake up option that our opponent can perform post down +2. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now possible to perform back turn moves when the opponent is behind you. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but interesting. So instead of like an option like if we're BT, we'll go for like leap 4-1. Now it'll give us back turn 4 instead, which is significantly better, right? Because we're not going to be facing the wrong way. We're going to be attacking them. So that's kind of cool. I respect that. There are certain weird scenarios where you get stuck in stance and like the opponent tech rolls and they're to your back. So those feel bad, like you get penalized for trying to effectively apply pressure. But now, okay, they tech roll to your back. Okay, now instead of us being in leap stance, now we have back turn options. Okay, you want resplat, back turn 4-3, counter hit options, so on and so forth. Sure, okay, I can't really complain about that. Brand new move, leap down 3. Super good move. Okay, natural knockdown. Is that wall splat? Oops. Ooh, natural wall splat is nice. And then furthermore, as talked about, plus frame option, we can also leave ourselves into FC at +2, where we can churn steal wall. Keep in mind, wall stand 1 high crushes. So if like Jin, for instance, goes for like a 2-1, and even though we're only +2, right? The wall stand 1 is going to win. So yeah, that's good. I'm not going to prove that one. You just take my word for it. And then yeah, counter launching property also. Probably one of the better moves for sure. Added in season 2. That might definitely sway my opinion. I know once you get to the wall, there's like a okay, what would let's see, what would be a 2-hit or up 3+4? Okay, there we go. It might be too slow though. Oh, is it up 4 3+4? Up back 3+4? I don't even remember the input. Shit. Oh, up 4-3-4. Okay. Okay, no, he's too low slump. So I know I'm not going to be able to do it because I don't remember how to do it. There is a way where you can put the opponent into a low slump and then go for down 3. It spikes him into the floor, and then from down 3, you leave yourself into FC and then go for full crouch down 4-4. And the full crouch down 4-4 is unscaled. So you do like a long combo, you spike them, and then do the low hit option, which then also leads to better Oki post option. I know also she also has long range like heat smash, where you hit later frames causing spike. And similar idea, you spike them to the floor, then down 3, and then full crush down 4-4 afterwards, and it does 1,000,000 damage. Okay, credit to Whale for this video, but this kind of goes to show you under certain scenarios how much damage Azucena can do. Okay, 4-3-2 or whatever, down 4-4-1, sorry. Down, yeah, then we go down 2-3, short carry, into leap stance, timed option, and then we go for leap heat burst, or sorry, heat smash, ground spike, transitions into leap stance, down 3, into full crouch down 4-4. And now granted, this is with rage, so it's doing 10% extra damage, but at the same time, like the really heavy burst damage only comes from the end of the combo, and that's because all the unskilled hits in a row. So ground spike, so low slump 55% because 10% damage buff. Full crash down. Oh, sorry, the leap down 3, ground spike, unscaled hit, right? And now another unscaled hit, full crash down 4-4, which is then doing significant damage. So again, look at the health at the very end of this combo. All of a sudden, we go from, yeah, look at that. Lost 25% of health instantly on one mistake. And it kind of goes to show you like the power of the leap options for sure. A lot of damage. Okay, up 3+4. Change input. Okay, so it used to be 4-4-3+4. That makes sense. I'm going to say that didn't seem normal. So now she can diagonal cancel with up 4 3+4. Hitbox has been expanded. Adjustments were made to collision detection in order to mitigate whiffing in certain scenarios. Okay. Yeah, sometimes like off-axis the wheel kick would miss, but I don't ever remember being really negative, so it wasn't a big deal. Behavior on hit has changed. Yeah, I noticed that right away. We're no longer causing knockdown state. We're now instead of clean +8. And then same thing on natural hit, probably same frame data. Yeah, there's no more knockdown, so we don't get the lead 1+2 for unskilled on the floor anymore. Now we're just +8. So the question is, on block, what are we? +4. Okay, so that sounds about right. I don't remember the frame data, but that sounds about right with their old option. Okay, heat mode, back 2 on hit or block. Okay, it now consumes less. I'm sorry, my throat's killing me now. Less of your heat gauge. So 210 seconds or 210 frames now to 150 frames. That's a huge buff. So basically 2.5 seconds is all we're spending now. Natural hit launcher and a homing attack, so pretty good. Character now automatically turns to face the opponent after the move, improving stability of follow-up attacks. Okay, so even on like probably weird axes, the back 2 will naturally realign. And of course the tornado spin naturally realigns too. So that's good for stability issues. Yeah, definitely a buff. A little bit of quality of life buff on the end there, but also a buff nonetheless. And let's see, on block. Okay, +7. Okay. During heat mode, I guess I could have stayed in stance. Lead down 3+4. Okay, as talked about. Oh, look at that. 13 frame recovery improvement. So -9 to +4. That's pretty good. Also, she can now transition into FC by holding down. And then, yeah, +4 again, wall stand 1, full crush down 4/4, or a higher risk option like wall stand 2. But keep in mind, wall stand 2 does not high crush. So at +4, if they mash out jab, you're going to lose the wall stand. You know, your wall stand 2 is going to lose, which is unfortunate. Okay, 3-2. Damage changed. So extra 2 damage on the front, 2 damage on the back. Yeah, that makes sense, because 3-3 is now, like, people are going to be more likely to duck it. That means 3-2 should also be naturally stronger. Oh, look at that. Behavior on hit. And that's NC, causes an ass stun now. Wow. Interesting. So then running 3-2. Damn, the timing is really weird. Yeah, the timing is super weird, the ass stun. But now running 3-2 allows us to apply +5 lead pressure. That's nice. And I think this is still only... Actually, I take back. This might be 13. I think it's only 12, though. 12, yeah, good. I remember she has some weird frame data that really shouldn't be 13. I know, like, down 4-2 we talked about earlier really shouldn't be 13 either, but, you know, whatever. Okay, ass stun NC option to make it so the 3-3 is naturally more valuable. Also, 3-2 should also still cause it still, so I want to make sure, yes. Okay, that's pretty good, because, yeah, that's NC, we have block all on. Okay, 4-3. Damage of the second hit has been increased. 17 to 20 damage, that's good, because a lot of structures go for, like, 4-3 instead. So now we're doing an extra, as talked about, odd number. We're extra 2 damage in our combo now with 4-3. Behavior on normal hit has been changed to match that of counter hit. Okay, so it's going to cost flop state. Cool. Okay, I don't hate it. Yeah, that's a nice little quality of life buff for sure. Simply because like 4-3, as shown, isn't NC, while 4-1 is. So people are going to likely duck it anyway. I think this is NCC. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. And that's what, 12 frames? Yeah, 12. So if we want to go for a basic frame shot, we can let the 4-3 rock and then get the natural hit wall splat. Or, sorry, there would be still counter hit. I think that's what it used to do. I think this cost knockdown anyway. But now we're in that bigger flop state where I don't know what you do. Lead 1+2 option. Manually transition? I don't know. Back 3+4? Okay. So that's our back sway. Oh, sorry, not a back sway. My bad. That's our actual jump. So now we're 2 frames quicker off the floor. which is good. Her back's turn options aren't that good relative to a lot of other characters. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, she still has back turn 2 1+2 on the table, and back turn 3, which would counter at launch. But overall, it's not like really, really scary, her BT options. So giving the ability to enter into BT and making it safer is a really, really nice change for sure. So, okay, cool. 2 extra frames that were off the floor, so it's harder to interrupt with a low. I like it. Keep in mind, there is some inherent risk, because if we're off the floor quicker, off of BT, that means if they jab at better frame, you're going to get clipped and launched. So I guess just keep that in mind. Okay, down 1. Oh, down 1 used to be negative on block. Interesting. That's a huge buff. We talked about this in the Lydia video, actually, how Lydia, her down 1, if it was any other character, it would be significantly better, but hers is -7. That kind of goes to show you, like, the same thing here. Like, Azucena down 1 used to be -2, and now it's +4 instead, which, as talked about, wall stand 1, wall stand 2, full crouch down for 4, kind of similar meta discussion we talked about earlier. Okay, now instead on hit, +7. Damn, +7 is big. Because wall stand 3 on 20, okay. So now that means our same thing, wall stand 2 can't be interrupted. Full crouch down for 4 would trade, I guess, positive. I don't know what happened on a trade, but we would get the knockdown state at +7 post down 1. So everything is scarier in general with this +7 frame advantage, so that's big. Okay, down 4, 1 slide 2. Change behavior on aerial hit, then induce strong aerial. Kind of a weird change, because usually down 4, not the best like front load damage. But okay, she has a taunt line now, I guess. Hitbox expanded downward, leaving situations where it would occasionally whiff. Okay. Yeah, I think they're talking about the high move. Yeah, look at that. He's really low, and we're still picking him up afterwards. Okay, sure. Ooh, behavior on hit. Is this NC? No, there's no way that's NC. Okay, so it's just the second hit. The cancel is a wall splat. Okay, what does do open field then? Just knockdown? Okay, a little bit of flying knockdown, sure. Okay, like I said, I don't know where you'd ever use this move, but okay. Maybe in like more fringe cases where you're like long range and you have to pick up. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, leap 3 +4. Change behavior on arrow hit. That cause strong aerial tailspin state. Okay. Oh, whoops, we're in BT. What structure should I do? Oh no, BT3, that's it. Okay, I was curious if we can link that. That would probably be a little too crazy. But I suppose, okay, well, I'm gonna do one more combo. Okay, no, we're in stance. Okay, my bad. Now, how fast is leap entrance? Okay, how much damage does do? 25. And how much is the low? Okay, 23. Because I was thinking, like, in certain scenarios, if we have rage, one thing that you could always do is you can manually transition and then go for... Wow. Like, this combo would always work. But I don't know if we could do the similar combo. Oh, wait, we can. Okay, so we're doing the same amount of damage, but there probably is a structure with, like, leap 3 +4 is the go-to option. Off the top of my head, I really can't think of what it might be. But that's also, I know, a mistake a lot of, like, Azucena players make, like newer ones. They'll go for, like, Rage Art immediately when they're missing the bonus manual combo back turn 3. And back turn 3 is really fast to enter into stance and really fast to go for. So it always hurts me when I see Azucena players don't do that structure. Okay, so timing of the Power Crush. Okay, nice. So instead of the old generic 8 framer, it's a 7 frame window. Reduce recovery time or speed. -2 instead of -5. That's nice. Reduce recovery time after absorbing an attack. Oh, to give us frame advantage. Ah, interesting. That's something that people don't tend to know about high power crushes. But whenever you eat, typically high power crushes are negative, big negative, like in the ballpark of like -9. But when you absorb an attack and you hit the opponent or block the opponent, they have to block it. You instead of being -9, all of a sudden tend to be like +9 instead. So here for Azucena, she goes from -2 to +3 when you absorb an attack. The big like asterisks here, you can duck it, right? You have her absorb the attack, and then you duck the input, and then you launch them for committing to a high power crush. So that just basically penalizes you if you don't know to duck it. You better start ducking it, because yeah, the frame data is significantly better for the person performing the power crush when you eat or armor through a high. So back turn 1-2. Behavior on block. Wow. Wait, whoa. Are you talking about the first hit? Okay. Wow, -1 though. Sure, damn. So yeah, this is what we saw earlier. So BT1 +2, so that's big. And then you can fish for it again, right? Because you're 10 frame. Now they have to duck it, and now if they don't duck it, they get hit by this, which is NC, which is pretty good. Kind of similar to a character like Raven or Lily. They can go for like the back turn 1 shenanigans, and then once they think you're going to crumple against it, then you kind of let it go. And then furthermore would be naturally at wall splat as well. So very, very strong for sure. So yeah, safer on block. And then, yeah, significantly safer on block. So -7 to -1 is a big deal. And then from there, high power crush, you think they're going to mash out. Sidesway option, power crush for proper. But the parry is this move is so good, 1+2. Simply because I presume this is still a counter launcher as well. Yeah, so good. And then the sidesway, which I assume we'll talk about. Let me kind of cheat. Okay, no, I don't see the sidesway talked about. Oh, okay, up forward 2 is the sidesway. Okay, never mind. But yeah, that's good. Most people are, high level are probably going to duck this. But at the same time, if they duck it, you don't duck it, high pressure situation, you're only -1 now, so you can churn steal back. Okay, back turn 4-3. Adjustment on block. -3 is nice. -5 kind of hurts. So now you're better. What's what I'm looking for? Better ways to beat back turn parries and power crush and stuff like that by only being -3. So yeah, that's nice right away. And now the second hit causes tornado spin on counter hit. So I presume the second hit only, because otherwise it's going to be NC wall splat. Yes, same thing, wall splat. Open field. Oh wow, that range is so crazy. Damn, okay, instant spin. Okay. What's the not like about it, right? And only, okay, -14 hurts, but whatever. Not a lot of characters can launch it. Okay, back turn 3+4. Now deals chip damage on block. Okay, 6 chip, not bad. Back turn 4, 3+4. Jumping status also has been changed. 9 frame to 6. That's a big change for sure. Similar problem if they mash out. Just keep in mind, you're going to get launched. So, approaching crouching status. Okay, so the crouch throw does more damage now. Okay, that's a good change. Yeah, that's, I think, a universal change for like a lot of characters for sure. The issue here, though, is hers is like, the heat engager, but like Dragunov lost his sort of thing. But okay, more damage. Yeah, because there are strings that lead to the counter hit state as well. Oh yeah, full crush down 4-3. So nice. We're dealing in unskilled 100%. So that's actually an extra clean 5 damage. That's a massive buff to full crush down 4-3. Yeah, 55 is good. That's a lot of damage. Okay, back 3. Startup has been changed. So that's her overhead attack. is still a heat engager. Still a heat engager, okay. So 3 frames quicker. Now it's +2 instead of +4. Keep in mind the opponent's recovering an FC, so they're naturally more disadvantageous. The issue here is post back 3. If they mashed out duck jab, down forward 1 is going to win. Your stand 4 on 12, which is high, is not going to win. So now it's harder to apply pressure at the +2. But if they kind of like don't think about it, well then 4-1's going to eat them alive. Down for 1's going to eat them alive, so on and so forth. So there's better counterplay against back 3. Because yeah, back 3 was really strong, especially because back 3 was also a natural hit launcher off heat dash cancel. So no flop state. If it caused a flop state, would probably still have a better frame advantage. But without that, or because of that, they have to make it worse on block, which is a really good balance change. Can't complain. Okay, back 1-1-2. So natural hit, wow, and counter hit. Ooh. I'm trying to see. Okay, that would definitely be counter hit confirmable. Oh yeah, for sure. That's pretty long delay too. Keep in mind, you're counter confirming the first hit, right? So you're looking for the purple spark or the animation. Let me try even going slower. Yeah, that's for sure counter confirmable. The issue though, I think back 1-1's non-jailing. So let's go ahead and put him into duck. Now, I don't think a human's going to consistently duck this. Okay, no, it does jail. Wow, okay, that's good. Not only do we jail. Okay, we're +8, so not the best frame advantage. You can see that's part of the nerf. That makes sense. Okay. So, just behavior on block. So if we go full root, which they can duck, but if he doesn't duck it, kind of similar to what we talked about earlier, we're now -5. Interesting. So this might have been an emergency patch because this information is wrong. Let's talk about the first hit. First hit. Okay, my bad. That makes more sense. So -3. Yeah, okay, whatever. Interesting. So if you don't go full root, you're stuck in leap, which then means what we talked about earlier, means you'd have to pop meter to make it safe. So 8 - 7 is 15, unfortunately. So if they have a 14 or quicker, you'd win in that position with a mid poke. Although the fear, of course, being that they go full root, and I think back one. Okay, not a counter launcher, so I take it back. No, actually, it's pretty risky then for her to force this counter confirm. Yeah, we get the benefit of the plus frames during block. But yeah, wow, that requires a completely different mindset to use a tool like back 1-1-2 now. Okay, recovery speed of it is now worse. We're +3 instead of +8. Damage has also been reduced because obviously this is a launcher, so hit confirmable launcher. Reduce recovery time on block for the second hit from, yeah, again, +3 to -8. That hurts. Like I said, that alone might just kill the move itself. Because again, you're going to have to heat burst here, which to beat a 15, you have to heat burst. You don't have a choice. The good news is you're in leap, so if they go high or low, you automatically reverse it. But again, if they go for a 14 frame or quicker mid, they're just going to beat you cleanly. So, okay, up forward 2. Up forward 2 now causes strong aerial tailspin state. Interesting. They're pushed so far away, though. I mean, I guess, like, lead 1+2? Oh, wait. No. We're not in leap stance. So, I take that back. Probably down 2-3. Man, they're so far away, though. I don't know. Okay, I'm not a fan of that. Okay, cool. We have a strong area tailspin state. Change the behavior on hit, making follow-up. So, yeah, we're +14, so 3-3 afterwards. This is kind of a side sway. It's not hyper evasive, but it does beat certain matchups. But yeah, we have that. Also, I guess furthermore, because 3-2 is now NC, you might want to go for the +23 instead, where then you can go for like meaty down 1 or running 3 pressure. The issue here at +23, there's no frames for them to mash out at 20 framer, so they literally can't get counter hit by definition during the situation. So the 3-2 is naturally devalued. So maybe it's better to go for manual leap entrance, the running 3-2 leap entrance. I don't know what the real meta would be, but just keep that in mind that 23 is an ass stun. So again, down 1 not going to be meaty counter hit option ever. Mathematically, can't happen. But it's nice. You're by the wall, same thing. Side sway 3-3. Or let's say you have meter running out, 3-3, pop it. Okay, a little burst of like 60 or so damage. A little bit under 60 because we have counter it on. Okay. Behavior on hit's different. Recovery speed on block, now -5. That's nice because look how far we are. This is one of those, top right corner, you can't apply frames if you're too far away. Damage has been reduced as such, now dealing 20 damage. And keep in mind, this is not counter hit only. This is all properties. Natural hit 3-3. And then here you go, yeah. Behavior on counter hit has been changed to match that of normal hit. And then finally, down 4-4-1. Tracking capability second hit has been fixed, so that way it doesn't phantomly whiff during combos. Or maybe you're by the wall, it's no longer going to just fuck you over. And not, you take all this inherent risk and you don't get any of the benefit of the down 4-4-1. So cool. Okay, buffed or nerfed? Definitely buffed. Like, these are really, really big changes. And even the things that are kind of like iffy, if they're like nerfs or whatnot, are all actually pretty good. Like, up 4-3+4 is probably the biggest nerf I think I've seen on this list here, just because it doesn't cost natural knockdown or counter knockdown anymore. That kind of sucks, but that's not bad. Like, a nerf like back 3, I think everyone would rather have a faster back 3 because it's a launcher with heat dash cancel. The +2 was +4 is probably overkill because it's so good on block anyway. This one hurts, but it also would change your mindset and force your opponent to react to it. Not every opponent is going to know back 1-1 is -8 into leap stance, right? So that's not even like that big a nerf. Up 4-2, not really a nerf. It's just change the move. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking everything I'm seeing here. The 3-2, I didn't know about 3-2. Being an ass stun is huge. Like, that's really good. And while I can't effectively, off the top of my head, predict where the meta's going to go with it, like, that's nice. That's nice as shit. And then here, we're by the wall. There's nowhere to go. So now we can, same thing, better apply pressure afterwards as well. Instead of having, like, the open field 3-2 ass stun going for it. So, good. Super good. So definitely buffed. Her arrow number 1, I would give her a full arrow up. These are all really nice changes for sure. There's nothing I disagree with. Quality of life improvements, little buffs here or there, like little quality of life, like back 3+4. They didn't have to do that. Down 1, I mean, that's a huge buff, especially because down 1 already is a counter hit launcher. So, things like that. It's like, yeah, you didn't have to buff it. So yeah, her whole game in general is just stronger, so I'd give her an arrow up. A full arrow up for her first criteria. Criteria 2, her Season 2 game. I mean, leap down 3 is massive. Like, this is like Season 2 manifest, this move right here. It does everything. Better, plus frame option, high crush, counter launcher, ground spike. Super, super good. The real question here, is that enough? Is that enough alone? Because again, her general game plan has improved and like framed out and everything like that. But is that enough? Full crush down 4-4 is really nice. The fact it's only -15 and not causing stagger just makes her even stronger. It's same thing. It's part of the same side of the coin. Really, really good. Diagonal cancels now off of leap stance are super nice. Can't complain about that. But is leap down 3 and full crouch down 4-4 enough to give her a full arrow? Ooh, hard to say. It's very close. Okay, so this is what I'll say. I think the addition for new options out of leap stance is huge. And let me quickly go over them again, because the one thing I did not look at with this leap options were the frame data. So up forward 3 on 21. Up forward 4 on 24. Up forward 3+4 on 21. And down 1+2. Okay, so none of the diagonal cancels are really fast. So that's a negative, because as talked about earlier, the +5 into leap, +8 into leap, you still have that like major inherent weakness with like power crushes and whatnot. So I would say if she had an answer to those, I would give her full arrow up. And while the leap down 3 is incredibly strong and full crush down 4/4 is incredibly strong, I don't think it's quite enough to give her the full final arrow. At first I was like thinking, yeah, probably I'd give her 2 arrows, but yeah, just kind of in retrospect, those frame breakpoints to challenge Power Crush and Rage Art aren't really there, and you have to take some inherent risk. And again, if your opponent's good, they're going to know what you can go for and how to beat it. And while an option like Leap 2 is good, because that's going to beat in that position, Leap 2, because 14 framer, again, loses the punch parry, Sabaki's, reversals, generic options, which, again, a lot of other characters can't beat if you're playing a different character. Like, again, Leap 1+2, causing that can be, is not airborne, fucking sucks. Like, little things like that is what they have not addressed with her. And if they did, I would say definitely 2 arrows up, but I'm going to give her an arrow and a half total. Season 2 stuff is really nice, but I think some other characters got some better stuff in general that, Azucena, for whatever reason, they just don't want to give her those crazy stuff. Now, the one thing I will say for Azucena's defense, it's nice that they balanced her like a proper character. Like, she feels like a kind of balanced-ish Season 2 character, and while you might disagree with like a move like down 3, which I also agree with, again, having too many properties, they could have done a lot worse. They could have made her insanely overpowered. And in a world where characters like Jin, running 3, became +9 to like +12 or whatever, Azucena going from +2 to +5 is like, okay, that's kind of fair. Like, it doesn't feel that bad. So, I know, I agree. I agree with Azucena. So, but, yeah, 1.5 arrows, definitely buffed. Could have been crazier buffed, but I do like her balance in general, in theory at least. So, okay, comments, questions, concerns, use your red Twitter. If I made a mistake, please let me know. Time code, said mistake. I'm taking suggestions, what character you want to see next. We're getting towards the end, although we still have another 12 or so to finish as well. But yeah, if you want to see someone, let me know. Consider becoming a member. I'll make money on the channel. Beyond that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later on.